What's up, guys? Okay, Arena Docs are back. We've got black this time as our next chapter in the Innistrad Crimson Vow limited review. We're going to do the top five commons and uncommons, starting with number 5.
Number 5. Big fan of this card, Gift of Fangs. 1 black. Give a creature -2/-2 as an enchantment. Has the upside that it can pump your creatures if it's a vampire. +2/+2. I mean, the downside of this is a dead weight, right? -2/-2 enchantment. Downside is you can't play it against their vampires. Upside, you can put it on your own vampires if needed. I think this is a cheap removal spell. Unless you're playing Vampire Tribal and Limited, you're always going to find a target for this. Good, cheap, efficient. Always going to include in your deck. And it comes in out common. So big fan.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think the comparison to say this is a dead weight with an upside is totally reasonable. You can, at its worst, assuming that they don't have just a vampire deck, which could be common, who knows? We'll see how the format goes, is a dead weight. And then the upside, one thing I wanted to add is that even if it doesn't kill the creature, if they had, let's say, one of those super powerful 5/5s or something, and you just make it a 3/3, which is now kind of neutered, and it can't keep pushing 5 damage every turn, then that's another modality for this same card.
Right, and you play it post-combat. You attack it with your 3/3,
Exactly.
They eat it with their 5/5, they think they're coming out ahead. You 2-for-1 yourself, but you get rid of their biggest threat. Could be worth it. I like this card a lot.
For sure, and you can make it an aggro card in terms of making your vampire huge and unblockable.
Right.
Okay, next thing, we've got the Fell Stinger. So this is 2 and a black for a creature, zombie scorpion, who's a 3/2 death touch. So let's forget about the other text for a second. That's good. The 3/2 death touch for 3, I could easily play that. It's with that 3 damage. It's going to trade up. Not to mention the death touch. So you're always going to get a reasonable trade. The downside would be maybe they have a 2/2, and then you trade down. However, so if you have a deck that can support exploit, which seems to be, after having reviewed the spoilers, that's probably going to happen a lot of the time. There's some nice, reliable exploit type creatures in black, and this is in the right color to have exploit. So then if he exploits a creature, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. So card advantage, death touch, you can trade up a lot of the time. I think it's overall very, very good.
Right, I mean, at its worst, it's going 1-to-1. Either eating a removal spell, trading for their card with death touch. You're always getting at least equal value. And black has a lot of synergy with exploit. I think it's going to be a big mechanic in draft. And just being able to draw 2 cards and at least trade up, awesome card. Definitely deserves to be on the top 5 list.
For sure. And then the last comment I'll make is, as a last resort, this is just a blood pact. You can exploit it. You play this, you have no other creatures, you exploit it. So at the end of the day, it costs you 3 mana, 2 life, draw 2 cards, and that itself is a whole other card. So this is head and shoulders above a card like a blood pact.
This is a typical black divination, right? The blood pact there. Very reasonable for black in getting card advantage.
Yeah.
It's a great card.
Totally.
Coming next is Parasitic Grasp. 2 mana as its base cost, although I would argue its base cost is probably its cleave. You're going to play the cleave cost much more often. The way it reads is Parasitic Grasp deals 3 damage to target human creature, and you gain 3 life for 2, or just any creature for 3. I think 3 is where you're going to be casting it. It's instant 3 damage to any creature, so you're going to deal 3 damage, kill something, you're going to gain 3 life. And I think the 2 mana casting cost is just a bonus. Right, you're obviously going to want to be heavy black. You're not going to want to splash this card. If you're not going to get 2 black reliably, it's not for your deck. But if you're in a primarily black deck, this is excellent. Always a very, very high pick, and coming in at uncommon as it deserves to be.
For sure. This one, I have nothing to add. I mean, this is, like we said beforehand, we were talking about black in general. Black's a powerful color. This is an example of why it's powerful, but there's not a lot to explain. It's basically just got a ton of high efficiency, instant speed removal. And this is a great example of that. It's basically, it's good at face value. In any draft format, this is going to be a good card.
This is awesome.
Okay, next one. In line with the previous card, we have Bleed Dry for 2 black for an instant. Target creature gets -13 until end of turn, and it would be exiled. So that actually the -13 is cute because that's part of the theme for this set. They love using the number 13. There's 13 power. In that one, there's actually a black creature that has exactly 13 power. So it's kind of this
13
this
toughness.
Exactly, 13 toughness. Yeah, so it's kind of that fun little connection. I love using 13s with the kind of demonic sub theme of the set. The one thing as far as actual play relevance. So last set we learned how beneficial actually exile is rather than destroy target creature, because there's going to be so many of these good creatures that have a disturb cost or a flashback, whatever, anything coming from the graveyard, and you want to exile them. A lot of time you don't want to kill a creature, because when it disturbs, it's going to be even worse, even more powerful as an enchantment. So exiling it is very, very useful.
Right. You can almost treat it as 4 mana instant speed exile target creature, which you would always play.
For sure.
And the fact that this is coming in at common, you can reliably see it, pick these up, it's going to just make your deck better.
For sure. Yep.
Coming in at number 1. Again, no surprise, black is a powerhouse this set for removal. Hero's Downfall, reprint, 3 mana, 2 black for an instant destroy target creature or planeswalker. Has the versatility. You're not going to see a ton of planeswalkers running around in draft. But I mean, 3 mana, instant speed, destroy target creature. Always premium, coming in at uncommon. This is a first pick. Pick one, pack one. I would take this first pick and be happy to transition into black.
For sure. And this is, again, nothing to add, same idea. It's just a face value card, nothing too much to say. But just as a comment, as you can see, if you're facing a black deck in a limited format, in this limited format, I should say, you're going to get removed like crazy. If they have more, like if their primary color is black, they're going to have just a ton of removal. So you have to, keep that in mind, bait it out. And a lot of times you can't get around it really, because these are all, just destroy or exile. There's nothing you can really do to get around it. Maybe if you're playing best of 3, you can sideboard in some cards that, your creature, gets hexproof until end of turn or indestructible or something like that, knowing that you're facing a black deck. But largely it's just going to be chugging on forward, just doing a ton of removal.
Yeah. Great color. I think black's going to be one of the stronger colors in draft, but we'll see how it meshes and how the format pans out. But that was our review of the top 5 common and uncommon draft cards for black in Innistrad Crimson Vow. Thanks for watching. We are coming out with further videos this weekend, so stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.
You got it.